Alright, before I do or say anything that makes me look like a weirdo, I ask you to please keep an open mind. Exactly a year ago, on the 8th of July 2022, I watched the first episode of what would be one of my most favorite shows. At the time, I wasn't so impressed, so I only watched the first episode. Then later that weekend, I watched the second, third, and fourth. I still didn't think much of the show and was at a place where my Wi-Fi was bad, so I did not yet know that it would have a much larger impact on my life than I could have ever thought. So a few days pass, I forget about the show until Tuesday. That evening, I would binge the first season and about half of the second season until about 2 a.m. of the next day. After about 6 or 7 hours of sleep, and the next morning I finished the entire rest of the show. Well, as far as it went, because season two's finale was the most recent episode. Perhaps you know which show I'm talking about, but most likely you don't. So to clarify, I'm talking about The Owl House. The Owl House is a kids show that follows the adventures of Luz Seda, a human who ends up in a parallel world called the Demon Realm. I've never seen Gravity Falls, but apparently some people consider The Owl House a similar experience or a spiritual successor to that show. Now, I'm not going to recap the story for you. You should just watch the show first, then come back here because there will be spoilers. I've warned you, go watch it first if you haven't seen it before. Now that that's out of the way, let me list why I think this is one of the best shows I've ever seen come out of Disney Channel. First, I have to talk about my favorite villain ever, Emperor Bellos. He is such a well-written character and is a menacing to an insane degree. For those who are still watching despite not having seen the show, Bellos is a human formerly known as Philip Witherbane, a witch hunter from somewhere in the 1600s. He rose to power on the Boiling Isles after managing to trick everyone into believing that he could talk to the Titan. Oh, you also don't know what a Titan is? Just go watch the show as explained in one of the first episodes. Sorry about that. Let me continue. Every time he appeared on screen, you knew something was about to go wrong, and even in the final fight, despite the fact that he is clearly losing, for a second I really still thought he might make a comeback, and the way he doesn't seem to care for anyone, not even the literal clone of his brother, is so unsettling. But his backstory does explain why he is like that. He was raised in a world where people were burning and hunting down so-called witches, and when he does meet an actual witch, she immediately steals his brother from him. Well, at least that's how he would put it. That's not how it went at all. And it didn't help that the time period he's from is one of the most narrow-minded of all, so he probably was even more aggressive towards demons, which, by the way, are not as nearly as bad as humans would think. Although his actions aren't rational, they are a natural response. It isn't just pure evil and malice, but it's a reaction that other humans would have had too. But I think in the end, the king's dad puts it best.
That man doesn't care about anything but his need to be the hero in his own delusion.
Which slingshots me into the next thing I found so good about the show, the characters and their development. As the show goes on, we see how Luz slowly but surely starts to blame herself more and more for everything that happens to her newfound friends. From Ida losing her magic in the season 1 finale to being the reason Bellos rose to power and managed to do what he did, she blames herself for all of it. But in the final season, she learns to accept that what she did came from a good place despite some of the outcomes being less than favorable. In short, she's not to blame and she learns it. But Luz isn't the only character with character development. Hunter, a Grimwalker made by Bellos, has a full-on identity crisis as the episodes go on after he finds out he's just one of many clones of Bellos' brother made by Bellos. But he too learns to live with that fact. He accepts that although he was intended to be a copy, he in fact is his own person, who can and does make his own choices, independent from Bellos or anyone else. But the best part about the character development in this show is that it all happens because the group sticks together. Luz and her friends all help each other out whenever they feel bad about something, which I think is a very powerful and logical way to cause character development in a short time given to the show. The show also has realistic characters. None of them are purely for comedic relief or for furthering the plot alone. They all play an important role at multiple moments, and they stay in character while doing so. Even Hootie, a character that for most of the show is used for comedic relief and nothing else, has a consistent personality and does further the plot at multiple occasions. A positive side effect of this is that the characters are relatable. I especially relate to Luz and the struggle she has with fitting in. Introvert moment for me. But I can see people feeling like Amity or Hunter too, and that is a very strong factor because it makes people feel understood and shows that they're not alone. And the LGBTQ representation is something that clicks into that. I can officially say that no character in this show is confirmed as a conventionally straight, cisgender person, and I love it. Even background characters are never confirmed to be straight or anything, which is something the show does very well too. Once again, it helps people feel understood and not alone. And of course, the show is enjoyable. The plot is amazing and very thought out, especially in spite of the fact that the show got cut short by Disney, which, by the way, was a huge frick up on their part. The first of the three specials that made season 3 received over 1 million views on Disney Channel's official YouTube channel with only a few days. And mind you that the episode was locked to the USA only. I don't live in the USA, so I had to use a VPN just to watch it. So yeah, Disney officials made an oopsie on that part, but I also don't think the show would have been where it is now if things went differently. Some parts of the story happened especially because of the show being cut short, so although I would have definitely wanted more, I don't think the show would have been as good as it is if it did get more episodes and seasons. Finally, I think the show has great character and music design. The characters all have details which are very fun to discover, especially in their time skip art. There are so many layers to the design there. But I also can't just forget about the music. The show uses original soundtracks everywhere, but there are some that stand out. I'll just play one here in case you've never watched the show, just so you can hear what I'm talking about. I mean, there are so many remixed versions of this specific one alone, and those remixed soundtracks get loads of views too, showing that the Owl House has quite a big community. And the fact that these remixes exist alone should also be a testament to the popularity of the show and how good the soundtracks in it are. And that was all I needed to say to destroy my barely existent reputation. Or was it? Because this show has been picked up on by many larger creators out there, and many people do compare it to Gravity Falls. So maybe I am not weird for liking a show meant for kids, right? Right? I think I've said enough to make my point. Thank you all so much for listening to this rant kind of thing. I know this deviates heavily from my regular content, but this was quite important for me, and I felt like I needed to get this out. So thank you all for watching this video. I don't have much more to say, so I guess that was all. This was Yellow TNT, signing off with a bang. Until next time.